Hello and welcome to the Build-A-Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to assemble a Lego set. I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego to the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. And if you feel like being a lurker, you can just go ahead and lurk. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. I should remind you that there is currently a promotion happening, a site-wide, Twitch-wide promotion, where if you want to gift 5 or more gift subs, you can save 35% off your gifted subs. That's cool. And it will be out of Twitch's pocket, not out of my pocket, so consider doing it. It would be a thing you could do. That'd be pretty awesome. Tonight's agenda. The Lego Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, and DK Jumbo set. Where we got the Donkey Kong built, we got to build the DK Jumbo, aka the barrel-looking vehicle that Donkey Kong rides around in Mario Kart. We got to build that, so I'm excited for that. Let's see, what else are we going to do? We'll work on a model kit that has been in my backlog for way too long if we finish this kit by the end. Hey, Lord Crashington, happy to have you here. We're going to talk about AEW's World's End, I should say. AEW's World's End, which is a pay-per-view that aired on Saturday. It's past Saturday that I watched. So we'll talk a bit about that. I've got a manga to chat with you about. I've got an anime to talk about as we kind of get in the in-between. And as we go to the overhead camera, a reminder that my stream tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern is my last stream of 2025, and it is my Anime Club Live. I will be talking about all of the winter anime that is to come out, and also the fall anime that is just wrapping up in some cases, or wrapped up last week in other such cases. So I've been watching some stuff that I didn't really get a chance to finish or start at all. I'm trying a few shows. Tonight we'll talk about a show that I didn't finish. I forgot to finish. I just got behind on it. But I did really enjoy it. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Season 2 of a show. So we didn't cover it here on the streams. What else? Is there anything else we want to say before we get into it? I'm going to start working on this here, working on the cart. We're in bag 2. Bag 1 was Donkey Kong, as you can see here, DK. A fun thing about Donkey Kong, when you tilt Donkey Kong's head down too much, it causes Donkey Kong's tie to flip up, and that makes me happy. I like that. But if you just go like that, then it can flop back down where it belongs. So that's fun. Vash is here. Welcome, Vash. That's a fun little bit of business with our Donkey Kong right there. Donkey Kong. DK, Donkey Kong. And there's a little banana peel with a smiley face on it. That's fun. And then we got some parts to start assembling. I mentioned this on Blue Sky today, and so I thought I would talk about it. I went to a mall today, if you can believe it. My dad got some money from my mom to buy new sneakers. And so it was decided that I would go with my father to the mall so he could buy, yes, Mr. Fancy Pants, indeed, so that he could buy new sneakers at the Foot Locker. My dad has been buying sneakers that I would describe as not good over the past several years, and then he doesn't break them in and waits until he gets to a vacation to then wear them, which is bad. And then his feet bother him, and it's all bad. So we decided we would go and do it, and then he's going to have to wear them around the house to break them in. We got him some New Balances. They look nice. We went to the Foot Locker. We were helped by 2 gentlemen in the Foot Locker, and it went very well. I did not get talked into buying sneakers. I got new sneakers. And my sneakers are fine. So it all worked out okay. And then we ate lunch in the mall. We ate lunch at in the food court. They have is it Mr. Charlie's or something? Charlie's Steak Shop or something like that. Something to that effect. It's a chain. It was cheesesteaks. We had some cheesesteaks, and they were tasty with some French fries. That was a pretty good little lunch. The mall. There are empty stores at the mall. There are plenty of empty stores at this mall. Not the biggest mall I've ever seen, but certainly there were plenty of kiosks that were empty, or in some cases, clearly there was a business running in those, but they were not open when we were there, which was at like 11. Like around 11, there were still kiosks that had not opened, and I was like, I wonder if these are actually abandoned. There is a Starbucks in that mall. For a while there, the Starbucks closed and sat empty, and then another franchisee, somebody else opened a new Starbucks in the old Starbucks, but like different management of Starbucks. And I found that to be a weird little bit of business, a little fun fact. And there was, of course, a kiosk that sells Labubus. And not just gotcha Labubus, but also they sell like weird things that like shirts with Labubu on it, and like things to carry, like the clear cases for your Labubu, so you can clip the case to your bag instead of the Labubu just out and about, protect your Labubu. And my general thought about all of that is, yeah, all right. I've only seen a Labubu in person once before, because I don't hang out with the target audience for Labubu, which seems to be high school age girls and also 20-something girls, and then also like 30 to 40-year-old dudes. Seems to be the Labubu audience, as far as I can tell. Don't quote me on that, but that's a general vibe I'm getting on that. So I don't see them in the wild. Also, a good reminder, I don't really leave the house much outside. I don't leave my neighborhood that often, so like I don't really see shit. But yeah, that was my second encounter with Labubus. And I was like, of course there's the kiosk that sells. It's the kiosk right by the bungee cord chair. I don't know else how to describe it. It's a chair that you sit in, and then you like rock it up to the ceiling and then back down again, and you bounce a lot. I don't know. That's in the mall. Also, there is no arcade. There has not been an arcade for a very long time. The arcade got replaced with an airsoft target practice place. And I have taken a photo of that previously because for unknown reasons, they have a giant statue of Bumblebee and Optimus Prime from the movies, movie Optimus Prime and movie Bumblebee. And I don't know why, but they have those outside of their airsoft area. But yeah, there is no arcade. Apparently, Dirty's here. Apparently, Dirty's here. that was not meant to be said like that. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Dirty just resubbed. That's 76 months. That's so many months. Thank you very much, Dirty, for your continued support. Appreciate you very much. Let's throw all the emotes in the chat. If you got emotes, throw them in the chat. So what was it? Oh, apparently, for a time, the movie theater that is also in the mall had, for a bit, arcade machines in their lobby. And they replaced those arcade machines with gachapon. And then they replaced those gachapon with nothing. That is what I've been told. I cannot verify that because I did not see it. But there is, in that movie theater lobby, a bunch of empty space where you could put arcade machines and then gachapon and then nothing. There is certainly room for it. So, remember, we got a little thing here. We'll put that like that. And put these there are a little bit of red. I think this might be where Donkey Kong sits, but I don't know. I don't know if this... Donkey Kong is going to sit in this. I just don't know how that works. We'll find out together as we construct this thing. We'll unravel the mysteries of the DK Jumbo. as we build it. Can we build it? Yes, we can. What was I going to say? Yeah, so that was my mall trip. I don't know. Like, look, a lot of the times when I leave the house these days, it is to go to someone else's house, or it is to go for a walk, or go to a grocery store, or the ATM, or something. So I don't, these days, that often go places. So I was like, oh, I'll talk about that on stream. And you know what? What happened is I talked about it on stream. So that felt pretty good. Quick hits, because I'm going to talk. Look, hey, sorry, and or get ready. I'm going to talk a lot about a AEW pay-per-view that happened on Saturday while we're building this Lego set. But before I get into that, let's talk a bit about a couple small little stories. One thing is, Makanyu. You may be familiar with the actor Makanyu, who plays Zoro in the One Piece live action, the Netflix's live action One Piece. Makanyu recently competed in a card game tournament, a One Piece card game tournament. And you're like, oh, that's kind of fun. That's neat. That's like probably a fun little thrill, little cross promotional thing. To like, oh, I'm sure it was just like whatever, and like, you know, didn't seem to like do anything there. Just like, oh, sure, yeah. It's like, what? Yeah, there were 366 people in the tournament. He probably lost immediately, right? No, he came in 8th place. He made it to the Elite 8 in a One Piece card game tournament where there were 300. He placed 8th out of 366 people. He did pretty good. And also, yes, he apparently plays the TCG all the time with Oda, so much so that the playmat that he brought to use was signed by Oda. And there is a literal sketch of Zoro on the playmat. And that is very funny. It is a remarkable flex. Yeah. Yes, his playmat has a drawing of Zoro and is signed Ichiro Oda. While Sanji's live action actor is busy creating a YouTube channel about how much it sucked to get into shape to play Sanji, Zoro's out there playing card game tournaments and doing what I would describe as fucking respectful. Respectfully doing real good. I don't have a link. I'm sorry that I don't have a link to this, but Sanji's actor in the live action has started a YouTube channel about his transformation physically into becoming Sanji, and talks about the pressures of being an actor and getting this part, and understanding that people would be crazy about it, but not realizing how many people would just be like, I don't think this is the right guy to play Sanji, and expecting him to fail. And how he was like, oh, I need to learn kick-based martial arts, and also I need to learn how to cook at a professional level, or at least approximately a professional level. Because he's like, obviously the food doesn't have to be right, but like it makes sense, right? His knife skills need to look good. You know what I mean? Like, and then his kicks need to look pretty good. So that he's talking about that. He needs to have the dream of finding the all blue. Exactly, Lord Crashton. But like, it is I think, because one would assume that the target audience for that video series is younger people who like One Piece, right? And I think, because I am an old fucking man, I think that it is nice that someone is talking about that thing, that element of like, oh, all of the pressure that exists. Like, yes, it's fucking cool. Lashbrook, he does have some martial arts background, but like Sanji's martial arts are very specific in that they are all kick based, and like, and also impossible, because he is a cartoon man. So it's a bit of a different thing than just, I mean, I have some martial arts training. Like the Orange Cassidy of martial arts, Lord Crashington. Great comparison. Yeah. So basically, the point I was saying there, I think it is fantastic that someone who theoretically will reach young people is able to say, hey, it is awesome, but like it is psychologically damaging to have strangers bet on my eventual performance. And then also, oh, this physically messed me up. So it mentally and physically messed me up to get to the point of filming the first season. And I think that is fantastic. I hope people take away the right things from that. That's very cool. We're going to say, oh yeah, all right, so we got to put 2 pieces here and then 1 piece there. Sure. Building up this part. What else was I going to say? Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was neat. I talked about a little bit this week about being an old man in fandom, because there was some talk about a VTuber, Raura Pantera. Raura has taken a break because she has had vocal surgery. A thing that unfortunately seems to happen a lot in the VTuber space, but also in the streamer space just in general, is that people who are not, who even the folks like Raura had a different life as an indie a VTuber, had previously was a VTuber of a different sort. But when you move on to full-time VTubing, your voice takes a big hit because you are talking constantly. And you add that into it, all of the effort that somebody who works for basically as an idol, you are recording extra dialogue, you are recording things for like video series that are outside of your streaming channels and other videos. You are doing singing. You are doing lots of singing. If you are not a trained singer, you are pushing yourself, because you are now taking, not only are you singing for recording, you are practicing that singing, you are maybe taking vocal lessons to try to improve, but you are not only are you taking vocal lessons, you're still recording music while you're taking vocal lessons, and maybe you don't know your own range, or the people that are writing music for you don't understand your range. And so it happens quite a bit. There are plenty of cases of folks like that developing nodes on their vocal cords, or many people who have left the VTuber space have done so because of the damage done to their vocal cords. We had 1 or 2 this year, one on the English side, one on the JP side, that were just like, oh yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to talk for a living anymore. And in one case, one person also had other physical ailments happening that were getting progressively worse and messing with their abilities to sing. But generally, like Raura Pantera, I saw some conjecture, because like I'm in a Discord that has a lot of talk about VTubers, and there were some people who were like lamenting that, the group that she's in aren't going to do anything because she's out. So the other people in her group, her generation, aren't going to be doing a group thing because they can't be 4 people. And some people were, I'm going to just say, dicks about it. About like, well, why couldn't she have waited till next year to get this surgery? And it's like, fuck off. How about you fuck the fuck off? But I know that I am an old man in a fandom because when I heard that she was taking time off and getting a surgery, I was like, well, I hope she takes a lot of time off. I hope that she really rests her voice. I hope that she gets proper training and proper physical therapy after her surgery, and she doesn't come back too soon. Because, like, it's just fucking entertainment. It's just good goof time. Like, it means a lot to people, but, like, gotta protect that voice. Gotta keep going, you know? Work is work, but, you know, your voice is the rest of your life, so. But I know I'm an old man because I think that way, as opposed to just being, like, devastated by it. Yeah, that's about it on that. But, like, that's how I know. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm definitely old in these spaces. But, like, if my voice started, like, if I was having issues with my voice, right, then I would cut back on how many days of the week I stream. I would increase the amount of vocal exercises that I do, but I would also go from doing 8 hours a week to like 6 hours a week. Corbald says, still, it's sad how rare that perspective is in spaces like that. So, like, again, part of that is just life experience, right? Like, it's not just empathy. Empathy is part of it, and a lack of empathy in some spaces are certainly a part of that. But in my opinion, it is to do with the fact that it's just like I have seen people come and go from a variety of entertainment, especially entertainment. Like, burnout is a thing. I have witnessed friends of mine who were burning the candle at both ends, who were outputting like a new fully edited with effects and references and clips, fully researched videos like once a week or twice a week. And like, just because they were like, oh, well, I'm young, so the thing I can give up is sleep. And like, I've seen that in the comedy world, right? Like, I was able to do comedy on my days where I wasn't working. That was not the case for a lot of people. For a lot of people I know, they worked a full-time job and then went home and did a bunch of stuff and then went out and did comedy and then came home and then went to sleep and then did not get enough sleep and got up and went to work and worked their day job. And they just on repeat, and on the weekends, instead of recharging or having a hobby or spending time with their loved ones, they were out doing the comedy grind because that is what you needed to do. And I saw people cut back on their comedy or cut back on their music or cut back on their art because they were burned out and had to focus on work and went into debt. So I've seen and experienced that enough. And I think the people that don't have that kind of perspective and don't have that kind of empathy for these things are not always, but often those people that are dealing with that are feeling that way haven't had any experiences like that. They don't know people they don't get to see anymore because they burned the candle at both ends so much that they just can't do it anymore, or they ran out of money and they moved back home or whatever. But it's like the most they often experience in that way is like, oh, my friend went to college and now he's too busy to do the thing we all did because he doesn't have the time anymore. Or they graduated from college and now they are working full time and they don't have the time to invest in the hobbies that we used to have together, that kind of thing. Or they have children and so they've been backing off their hobbies. And then also, like, part of it is that I have done one of the rarest things in fandom. I became friends with the people that made the thing that I like. In some ways, I have done that. And that gives you a lot of perspective because it means that, by extension, everyone I know who does a thing is a person, right? Everyone that does game reviews or plays video games on stream is a person, because I've met some of them. And the people I've met know other people. So all of those people are people. Everyone that has made it in the comedy world, many of whom I've never met, right, are people. Because I know the people that made it, that were working desk jobs, that were working at hotels. My buddy Bobby, who has been on multiple TV shows and in movies, used to work at a Pizzeria Uno that he fucking hated working at. So it's just like, okay. Like, I have that perspective of understanding that people are real and exist and then work. And the parasocial relationships that I've had with some people have transitioned into actual relationships. And that makes me have that perspective of being like, oh, I'm glad that they're okay. I'm glad this person is okay. I'm glad this person is getting the help they need. You can be sad and frustrated about it. Like, you know, right now, I don't have a lot of podcasts to listen to because a lot of the people I know who make podcasts and that I listen to are taking this week off. So I can be annoyed that I have less new things to listen to. There wasn't an episode today posted of My Brother and Me. All of those guys have kids. I don't need them to do a podcast this week. It is something I listen to every Monday, and so it's weird not having them. But I have the perspective and the understanding of being like, yeah, it doesn't ruin my day. It's just a little annoying. But that is not a perspective that everyone has. And also, we were talking about VTubers, and so that adds another element, because there's a performance element about it. Like, it's a weird thing that I'm like, there are a couple people in the VTuber community that I followed the work they did before they were VTubers. So it's just like, I don't know. It's like, there's a VTuber who's a singer and a rapper and a performer, but I'm like, also, she ran a D&D podcast that had video, and I know what she looks like. It's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I know that lady's face. Like, like, one of my favorite people right now to watch is someone who I have mutual friends with, and like told me like, oh, hey, so-and-so, my buddy is going to be in HoloLive now. Don't tell anyone. And I was like, well, which is hilarious, because to them, it's their British friend that they have known and done goofy bits with for a decade. But to me, I was like, well, that's a musician. Like, your secret's safe with me, but also like a bunch of people are going to recognize this girl's voice from being a person who made music on the internet for a bunch of years and did fan stuff. So it's like, no, we are. Maury is the most open secret one that I know of. Yeah, Maury Calliope occasionally does stuff as her former name, like occasionally, very occasionally. Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame, I knew by another alias of hers, because she made a lot of music in fandoms that I was dabbling in, and I knew people in. So I know. So she is great, but also she is a friend of a friend. And that's just a weird one. It's just like one of those things, like, yeah, that's just weird. There are a bunch of Japanese VTubers right now that are former idols. And it's like, and they were not the most successful of idols, but they were like idols. They're like people that people are now like engaging with that are like, this is so weird because I went to see you perform in concerts and now you're a VTuber. And it's strange. Yes. Everything is fucking weird about it. Yes. Everything in the VTuber space is weird, particularly, and I got to give them all the credit in the world. This batch of indie VTubers who are like, also I make appearances in public. Fuck you. I also go in public as my real face because like there are actors who are VTubers and voice actors who are VTubers, and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna be in public. I'm not. Whereas like Maury Calliope does music, and a bunch of VTubers now with Hololive do music as their personas for like anime, but as their personas. Like Bao is out there just doing whatever. Bao the Whale is just like, yeah, I mean, I'll wear a face mask, but like, I don't know, I'll do some flesh tuber streams and I'll go to conventions. And then there are people who are like, yeah, I'm a voice actor. And so people already know what I look like. And, who is it? I forget his name and I apologize, but there is a voice actor who became a VTuber because he was doing a contract and he had to record in person and he ran out of money and he couldn't do other acting gigs while he was waiting for the show to get picked up. And so he started VTubing, and I forget his name and I apologize, I don't remember his name, but he basically was just like, well, I'll just use my voice because I'm a good talker. So he basically became a VTuber. He recently did some dub work for New Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt and was talking about that, which is cool. But yeah, so we're seeing a generation of people doing the VTuber thing who are totally okay, seemingly very okay with just being like, that's a character I play. Like, sorry if your boner went away because this is what I look like. But I'm still going to do that. And I think that's great. I think that's great and that's neat. That people are out there doing that. Went from the idol industry to the virtual idol industry. Yeah. Which like, that is a thing you can do. You can transition from, I am an idol and I'm part of this industry, but I can continue to be an idol in a different way. I'm going to do that. And it's like, yeah, that's awesome. In the same way that there are people who are VTubers because they didn't get to be an idol. The twins, Fuwawa and Mokoko, were basically like trying to be idols on as a life thing, as a job, and basically saw that this is an avenue they could do, which was, oh, well, we'll do VTubing stuff. Originally they were the voices of characters for a company that was like doing tourism in Japan, and they were like the tour guide characters, and that led to them eventually being in Hololive. And it's like, oh yeah, that is a strategy. But yeah, there's a lot in that industry that is interesting. I think the independent space is pretty fucking cool right now with a lot of good stuff going there. Yeah. Yes. And in many ways, the idol industry is the Shoujo, the company that ran out of money and was mishandled and misappropriated. Their idea was they were going to try to treat VTubers like it was a talent agency and not treat it like it was an idol agency, which is what all of the Japanese idol studios do, or VTuber studios basically do. Not all of them, but most of them run it like they would run an idol business. And they were like, we're not going to run it like an idol business. We're going to run it like a talent agency, which is, in theory, a good idea, but in practice didn't work because it was just somebody wasting a lot of money as a passion project and not a good business. But in general, those agencies run like you would with an idol. I mean, it makes sense that there are idols, both successful and unsuccessful, that enter modeling, that enter the fashion world, both on design and running, that enter soft adult entertainment, actual adult entertainment, women's professional wrestling. The idol to wrestling pipeline exists in Japan and is successful, both failed idols and also successful idols, and is now starting to be the male equivalent of that is happening. And it's kind of wild that Japanese male idol guys are dipping their toe, who were always physical, are dipping their toes into professional wrestling because it's worked for some women. And so now they're like, well, maybe it could work for me. And that's very interesting because it's like, yeah, it could. You could do this. Yeah, it is Bushi Road all the way down. Yeah, I mean Bushi Road and Cyber Fight. Don't forget Cyber Fight / Cyber Agent. Like, I mean, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling is an idol company. Act Res is a theater company about wrestling. DDT created a boy band in 2025, and they had their first concert where there wasn't wrestling like a couple weeks ago. They have an idol group now that performs. Oops, I missed some pieces. So I gotta pop this open here. We're gonna use our wedge to get this open. Oh, and a bunch of stuff kind of fell apart there in trying to pop that open. So now we have to rebuild, but this will not be difficult. This will not be a difficult rebuild because it's pretty straightforward what I got to do here. But yeah, it is interesting to see male idol stuff happening. That there is a market for that. I mean, like DDT is understood for. They understood the dream that Dragon Gate made possible, which is, oh, well, if some of these guys are hot, then people will come because the hot guys are wrestling. They don't just have to be cool guys. You can have hot guys as wrestlers. Dragon Gate understood this, and DDT has understood this quite a bit. That it's like, oh, yeah. Especially a company like DDT that does a bunch of stuff outside of traditional wrestling venues. If you were walking by on the streets and you see people doing really cool shit and you're like, wait, this is what wrestling is? That's awesome. But also, sometimes you could just have like the most attractive man you've ever seen in your life, and then he does a kick flip and you're like, or not kick flip, but he does a flip kick, I should say. And you're like, what the fuck? That's the hottest man I've ever seen. And he's kicked a guy in the face. What is this? That's also a viable methodology. Have there been any New Japan Pro Wrestling to bang dream pivots yet? So I don't think so. There certainly have been Japanese wrestlers who have become voice actors and have done some amount of work. Often that is the case because casting directors and directors of animation and TV shows are like, I love that wrestler. Could we get that wrestler to do a thing? Or, hey, one of my favorite pro wrestlers has said that he loves One Piece. Can we get him to voice a character, 2 characters in One Piece? We can? Great. Then we're going to do that. Like, that has happened. Which is awesome. That's unbelievably great that wrestling has been able to do that. I love that. It's just like, oh, okay. We're gonna do that. We're gonna put Murder Grandpa in One Piece because he likes One Piece. Um, the Great Okan is going to make a video for this Hollow Live performance because the Great Okan fucking loves some members of Hollow Live. So he's gonna. When they hired DDT to do Full Moko's wrestling thing in 3D, they did tribute moves to the Great Okan because they understood, because the DDT people that helped them out went, well, we know that the Great Okan loves you guys, and we know that wrestling fans that know that would love to see some of his moves in this match, so we're going to teach you some of his moves because it will pop him when he watches this. He will like this, so we will do that. Yes, there are some. There have been some voice acting things. Maki Ito has done some voice stuff the past 2 years. One of the things I think it was astounding is she did a web animation, and then she worked on the English dub of the web animation. They had her do the dub, which is difficult for someone whose English is not their first language, who also isn't a voice actor and also isn't super particularly skilled at English. That's a fucking risk right there. But I gotta do 2 of these. Okay, but that is still cool. I'm not gonna do a play-by-play of AEW's World's End. It, for the most part, had some fucking killer matches. My piss break match of the night was, of course, Darby Allin and Gabe Kidd. A match that almost went 13 minutes, that did not need to go 13 minutes. Did not need to be that long. Go back to New Japan, Gabe Kidd. I don't need to see you in AEW. That was not, I did not enjoy that match, but I am indeed a hater of both of them. Let's see. Mixed Nuts Mayhem. I want to give a shout out to Mixed Nuts Mayhem. That is the stipulation of a match. It was a free-for-all. No tags were required. There were 2 women in the match and a bunch of dudes, and it was an all-gendered affair. This is one of few all-gendered affairs in AEW, a company that we never thought would have that because Tony doesn't care about it or particularly enjoy all-gendered wrestling. So it was weird to see. There have been a couple of instances of that this year. There was one last year where Willow Nightingale actually got into it with FTR, and it was like, oh, fuck yeah. And then this year there have been some instances of that, which is good. You can do it. You could have Marina Shafir chop the shit out of her husband, Roderick Strong, which they unfortunately acknowledge because they've never acknowledged that before, that they're married. But they did acknowledge it, and I was like, I really prefer that to be kept in kayfabe, but whatever. My thought on that was that Tony Storm, who is a deer, that it felt like Tony Storm was slumming it by doing stuff with the conglomeration, because they're mid-carders and she's a fucking star. But also, it worked. It felt great, and it worked. Her doing stuff with Mark Briscoe and Orange Cassidy was just like very fun and very good. I thought that was neat. That was one of my favorite matches of the night. Harley Cameron is trying her goddamn best. But it is important to remember that Harley Cameron has only, that was like her almost, I think, under 50 matches in her career, that she is still, that her tag partner has worked 10 times as many matches as she had. She just doesn't have as much experience. And it showed in that match that she was a bit out of her depth. But she's still great, and she's in a quality tag team. But I do think she was the weak link in that match, and that's a bummer to say because I thought it was fun. And you want the first title defense of that belt to that's on a pay-per-view to be a banger because you got Athena and Mercedes there doing their thing. So it was it'd be nice for this to be a top tier because I want Athena to be on TV more. But the fallout of that was really good. One of the things, so there are two things that happened aplenty in World's End. One was reversals of tombstones. A lot of people were setting up to do a tombstone pile driver, and then that tombstone pile driver got reversed into something else. That happened a lot. And the other was, hey, you just fucking dropped that person on their goddamn fucking head. That happened way too many times and was bad. That I would love to see a reduction of in 2025 or 26, I should say. Less dropping people on their motherfucking heads. Including Jamie Hayter and Chris Statlander. I thought that match was good. It followed the funnest match on the card, and so maybe that was a bummer that it followed that and didn't really hit as hard because of this position on the card. You can only, say so much about that, but yeah, that probably hurt the match a bit. But the crowd did get into it. They did start chanting Green Bay sucks at one point because somebody was wearing apparently somebody in the crowd had a Green Bay jersey on, and so there was a chant about Green Bay sucking because it was Chicago, and then that kind of just kept going. So that's frustrating. But if you hear somebody say, "Oh, they were chanting this match sucks," they weren't chanting this match sucks. It's dumb what they were chanting, but it wasn't that match sucked. All right, we got to talk about it. We'll talk about the two things. So I am mad about a series of results of the show that I am mad about. And it might not be what you think. Now, some of you will know that I don't dislike the wrestling styles of one Maxwell Jacob Friedman. I think MJF is a good heel. Now, does he veer into racism to get you? Yes. I don't look forward to him cutting a promo ahead of his match with Bandito because I fear that it will be racist. And I don't love that because that is just ignorant heat and unnecessary. But as far as MJF as world champion, I don't have a problem with it. Do I wish that Samoa Joe had a longer title reign? Yeah. Would I prefer that he beat Samoa Joe over beating Hangman Adam Page? 100%. If they had to take off the belt off Hangman, which I don't love that they did, and have MJF win, I think this is fine. In the four-way, it gets rid of that guaranteed title thing. He's got it. He's going to go up against Bandito. That's going to be a killer match. He can work against Lucha really well. He's proven that he can do that, and so that'll be quality. So I'm not mad. Some people are doom and gloom. This is 9 months of 2-segment promos and who he's even going to face and who he's going to be beating, and oh god, they're not going to take off the belt off of him until he faces Will Ospreay at All In, so he's going to be the champion until August, and all this all doom and gloom, and I don't feel the same way. I want to talk about the Continental fucking Classic, which before the semifinals I would have said was my second favorite Continental Classic, because I am who I am. And you must understand that Eddie Kingston won the first Continental Classic. So therefore, his outside of winning the RH Championship, it is his supreme achievement in AEW. I am an Eddie Kingston guy. That's my guy. Always has been. Always will be my guy. and he won a cool big thing. He beat Jon Moxley, a guy he hadn't beaten, in order to win that. He in battle earned the respect of a guy that called him a bum, Bryan Danielson. He earned the respect of Bryan Danielson in that tournament. He whipped Claudio Castagnoli's ass, which he always wants to do more than anything. That tournament means a lot to me. So there were some great matches in this year, and I was psyched about it. And the semifinals, I was like, okay, we got Kyle Fletcher and Jon Moxley. That's going to be good. Moxley will, he'll never say die, but Kyle will beat him. Okada, Takeshita, I kind of wish they were saving that for another thing, but that'll be great. And either man wins, it'll be fantastic that they win, because they'll face Kyle, and that's going to be a great fucking story. Because, Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita have, a love situation going. So it's that's going to be very cool. And, if Okada beats Takeshita, then Kyle's getting, going to get his revenge, and that's going to tear the Don Callis family apart even more. And that's going to be great. And instead, we got Okada and Jon Moxley in the finals. A thing I hadn't fucking considered. I had not considered that Jon Moxley would beat Kyle Fletcher. I had not considered that Jon Moxley would beat Okada, the man that is modern wrestling's ultimate, tournament wrestler. Okada beating Soup? Sure. Felt like that was a thing that was going to happen. Okada losing to Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley, the guy who spent much of 2025 and much of 2024 being the worst part of AEW, where he would have not that great matches, subpar main event matches that ended due to cheating, and then a bunch of people would come out and beat people up, and then people would try to make the save and they'd get beat up over and over and over again, and he'd cut bad, shitty promos. And now he's a fucking mid-card champion. He's the Continental Classic winner. He's the Continental Champion. He has a mid-card belt in AEW again. And then he cut a fucking babyface promo about how he works hard for the people that work hard. And he literally talked about how, while he's talking, slurring his speech because he broke a tooth in a match, slurring his speech talking about how he's doing it for everybody that's watching as well. Jon Moxley turned babyface in the same year that he was the shittiest world champion AEW has ever seen. And he turned fucking babyface, and the crowd was like, we're glad to cheer for Jon Moxley. We are happy about this development. And then his heel faction didn't murder him with a plastic bag. They murdered Bryan Danielson because he was a soft champion. They found weakness in him and decided that he needed to be eliminated. So they put a plastic bag over his head. And maybe they're going to do it. Maybe they're going to do it with Jon Moxley, and they didn't want to do it, at the second to main event. They didn't want to do it there. Lashbrook says, it feels like they forgot they were doing a whole implosion of the Death Riders thing. So here's the thing, Lashbrook. They weren't doing that. It dawned on me in conversation last night that we weren't watching the fall and the implosion of the Death Riders. We were watching the redemption of Jon Moxley. We watched Jon Moxley lose to Kyle Fletcher and tap out. We watched Jon Moxley give up. That was his low point. His low point wasn't that he got kicked out of the Death Riders or they turned on him in the Death Riders. The thing they did to Jon Moxley was that he lost a bunch. And he found his love for wrestling again. And the Continental Classic turned him babyface. So, Lord Crashington, they have not done the plastic bag thing since they murdered... maybe they've done it once since, but they haven't really done it since they murdered Bryan Danielson. But I'm saying that's their calling card. They should have done it to Jon Moxley. And it's weird that they didn't do it to Jon Moxley. But that's generally my feeling is, apparently, as we were watching the fall and from grace, the slow burn fall from grace of Jon Moxley, we weren't watching, we watched the bottom. The bottom was losing to Kyle Fletcher. Not Kyle O'Reilly, I should say. It was losing to Kyle O'Reilly. And now he has been resurrected. We watched the redemption of Jon Moxley, apparently. That story was so slow, and they jumped a bunch of steps in it. They never jumped steps, and they did. Also, I hope Stokely Hathaway is okay, because he took a really bad bump. He, instead of going through a table, bounced and slid off a table, and the table flipped and then fell on him. And he crumbled, and it was awful. And I hope that Stokely Hathaway is okay, because that was fucking rough to look at. That was tough. So I hope he's okay. Because I don't know if he is. Because fuck, that looked bad. That looked real bad. That match was also bad, but in a different way. People are just so anxious for Jay White to come back that anytime that the Bang Bang Gang does anything, they're like, well, then Jay White's coming back, right? And it's like, dog, I don't think Jay White's coming back until Australia. Yes, he's from New Zealand and not Australia, but I think he's not coming back until February. I don't think he's coming back for a random pay-per-view appearance. If he is ready. But this has been months and months of people like, Jay White is definitely coming back. I have no evidence to support that. But I am just demanding that he does. It's like, nah, I don't think he is. I think they're going to keep him under wraps until he can show up at the next pay-per-view, or at the not pay-per-view Grand Slam. Anyway, I'm bummed. I'm not bummed about the main event. I am bummed about the mid-card. I think the storyline sucks. I think also, I'm not going to get too much into it because I've talked way too much already. I dislike the idea very much of Okada cheating in the Continental Classic. I think it sucks that he cheated to win. I think it sucks that he didn't get disqualified after the fact for cheating during it. Because the Continental Classic has a bunch of rules in place to make it a fair contest. And heels win by being better wrestlers in the Continental Classic. I don't like that Okada cheated. They took 3 years before they got a cheating spot, but I think it was a bad spot to do. Yes, it was kind of interesting that Kyle apparently didn't watch the match, so he didn't know that Okada used the thing that he apparently planted so that he could cheat. I think that is an interesting twist on it, but I think it was shitty. I think you could have Okada beat Takeshita clean. And if you can't have Okada beat Takeshita clean, then think about having Okada win, or Takeshita win, or don't have them fight each other in the semis if you don't want that match to happen like that. If you're so concerned about that, don't have Takeshita in the tournament at all if he can't be losing big matches like that. There's some shells here. We'll take care of that later. We're on bag 3. Take care of that in a bit. Anyway, there's a lot to like about what AEW is doing. I did not enjoy how that the semifinals or the finals of the Continental Classic It was frustrating. Anyway, we're going to know all this stuff after the pause for the cause. Talk about some anime and manga in the second hour. But at this point, what I'm going to do right now is talk to you about ways that you can support what I do here. Everything I'm about to talk to you is optional. You're under no obligation to do any of these things, but if you would like to help me out financially, you're more than welcome to. That would be great. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber to the Build with Bear workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money, your Prime Gaming token. If you Amazon Prime, you can link it with your Twitch, you get a token. You can use that token for anybody. I'd love it if you used it for me. Also, hey, you could gift a sub. There's a promotion going on right now where if you gift 5 or more gift subs, you save 35%. And that's off Twitch, not off me. So you could do that if you wanted to. If you wanted to gift some subs out to the community, you could do that. We have a lot of gifted subs handed out, but there's a promotion. So I figured I'd mention it because, you know, we're doing good on that. But we did have a bunch of gifted subs this December, which was great. Season of giving. Love that for us. Let's see. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. That is another way to support me, which of course is optional. All this is optional. On my Patreon, there's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different awards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. A reminder that on my Patreon, there is a Q&A video that went up for December that is exclusive to just my Patreon. So the only people that get to see that are people that have supported me on Patreon at one of those tiers. So that's kind of fun. Oh, I didn't mention, and I need to mention this, so hold on. I gotta get this here. I gotta get a link here. So hold on. Okay. So we're doing that in a second. Sorry. There's a thing that I have a poll that I'm going to link in the chat in a bit. We'll get through this and I'll get to that. So, hey, I got that Patreon. I also have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBear. And over on my YouTube channel, you can, of course, subscribe for free, but you can also become a member. And members get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So if you want to see a video that other people have to wait till Wednesday to see, you can sign up. $2 a month over there. Everything I make through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out. Through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And out of that fund, I buy model kits and Lego sets and equipment. But also, there are direct donations. So you can do that. That is another way to support me out, is to go to my Ko-Fi or my PayPal to make a donation. And like I said, they all go in. I was able to buy this Lego set because of your support. So thank you very much for that. I'm going to include a link here. This link is to a poll that I would love for you to fill out. This poll is to decide what model kit I purchased, expensive model kit, because I got I got $75 in gift cards. Sorry, let me just write this down. Vote in the poll. I'm going to add this to my poll. Okay, put that there. So click on that link to vote on what you'd like to see me buy. I have 3 kits here. They're all expensive on Amazon, but I have Amazon gift cards. So I'm going to use those gift cards to buy one expensive gift kit. And if there's money left over, it just goes to the other kits I'm going to buy. So, you know, you can just go for that. The 3 that are up for option here are the Gundam Aerial Master Grade SD. So that is the advanced chibi kit. The Typhonius Gundam Chimera high grade, which is just like a crazy looking mobile suit thing from Gundam Build Metaverse, the anniversary of Gundam Build series. And also the Wing Gundam Zero real grade, which I would love to build. The Wing Gundam real grade is not particularly great in my opinion. It's an early real grade, and I would love to build the Wing Zero variation. So that's up there for voting. Currently, 14 people have voted. And the winner right now, we have until Friday. I'm going to end on Friday. The winner right now is the Wing Gundam Zero Real Grade, which I was surprised about because it's not the most expensive option. It is maybe the coolest option, but it's not the most expensive. But yeah, I will use all of my gift card money on stuff for the stream, so don't worry about that. Now, as I mentioned, those things are on my wish list. When one of them doesn't win, I'm still going to keep them on the wish list. So if there's something on my Amazon wish list you'd like to see me build on stream, you can always go and buy something there for me to build. It'll come to me in the mail. I will make a dedicated YouTube video about the thing you purchased for me. And then it'll be the next thing I build. It'll jump the queue because that's the least thing I could do is to build it as soon as I can. I recently added the EZSR, which is from Gundam Build Fighters Try. That is recently added to my wish list. That is it's a gray on gray kit, and that'll look awesome with marker. So I put that on the wish list. That is the most recent addition. But yeah, if you see something on the wish list you'd like to see me put together, Lego or model kit wise, feel free to pick that up because I would love that. And yeah, it means a lot if you would consider helping me out. That is a huge help. It's expensive, but it's a huge help. My alternative to Amazon is I have a wish list on Throne. Check that out. See if there's something there you'd like to buy for me to build. And then the most convoluted way to support me financially is to get a gift card to USA Gundam Store. At USA Gundam Store, you go in there, you buy a gift card. They will send you an email with the gift card code, and you can send me a whisper on Twitch or a DM, a private message on Blue Sky or Mastodon or Twitter with that gift card code, and then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. Again, the most convoluted way in so many steps, but people have done it, which is wild. Thank you to the people. Let's see. A couple video links for you to check out. My most recent episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club is me talking about my top 10 anime of 2025. And there's an honorable mention that a friend of mine said, that's kind of a dishonorable mention because you're really talking shit about that anime. And I was like, yeah, you're right. It maybe could have been dishonorable. But there was a show that didn't make my top 10 that I wanted to talk about. So I included that. I would love to know your anime of the year, or if there was something on the list you thought would be on the list, like, please watch the video. Let me know. It means a lot to me. Appreciate you. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series. And all through the month of December, I have been recommending anime shows, and spoiler, on Wednesday, I'm going to talk about a movie that you can watch for free with ads. Because maybe you don't want another subscription service. Maybe you don't want to get High Dive to watch one of my top 10 anime of 2025. I get that. Just to watch one show? Yes, totally. But instead, you could watch on YouTube, licensed, not just a legal bootleg upload, like licensed subbed anime series, the link is right there, called Martian Successor Nadeshiko, a Gen the Robot unlikely hero series where a guy just wants to be a chef, and instead he's got to pilot a cool mech and hang out on a ship with a bunch of ladies who are all weirdos, and he's just trying his fucking best. And it's good. It's fun. And you can watch that free with ads on YouTube. And if you have YouTube Premium, I mean, you just watch it for free. But, I'm trying to keep with the theme of with ads. So you understand what I'm doing there. Anyway, I am going to talk about a manga that I have been reading. And then I will talk about an anime that I have been watching. Several episodes about an anime I've been watching, and we're going to do that. I just drank a little water. I need to drink even more water. I am parched. Maybe I had too much salt today because of the cheesesteak that I ate, perhaps. But in order to get all that ready, what I need to do is dramatically transition back to the overhead camera, drink some water, and then get back to working on this Lego. And I'm going to do that right now. All right. So I am knolling our third and final bag here. We're going to get this thing together, get all the parts built for this, but we're going to separate by color before we do that to make my life easier. And while I do that, I am going to talk to you about a manga that I have been reading lately called Slime Slayer, From Zero to Black Steel King. So dumb, man. So our main character, Yuma, is just a high school kind of like loser. Like he's nice. He's milquetoast. He doesn't really have ambitions. His friends have become adventurers. They're like going to school for it, and they're gonna do great things. And he does not have that drive. He just goes to school. He doesn't have any talent. He doesn't have any mana. So even if he like wanted to be an adventurer, he'd need mana to do it, and he would need to be able to build strength, and he can't. So he's just going to go to school and be a regular guy and just kind of do his thing. And then in his backyard, a hole opens up. And his dog freaks out. So he goes to investigate the hole. And in the hole, there's just a slime. There's a monster. And it's just a regular ass slime. And our guy, like, figures out, like, oh, I can use, like, he tries to attack it with like, household tools, and that doesn't work. And eventually he figures out, oh, I can just spray it with, like hairspray and make, like, a flamethrower. And he kills the slime eventually. And he's like, great, problem solved. That's fucking weird. And the next day, his dog's barking again. And he's like, what? Come on. What? You want to go in the hole? What's going on? The slime is back. And so he spends a bunch of days killing this like metallic slime that shows up. And it's difficult to do. And he started to feel like I might be getting stronger by doing this. And occasionally there are variants of these, and he defeats them. And in the background, we know this and he doesn't. He's doing something that's kind of fucking crazy. Because he's getting the powers of these slimes as he defeats them. And as he defeats a new kind of slime, he unlocks more powers within himself. And he's becoming a powerhouse. And he does not fucking understand that. But solving these challenges is giving him a little bit of drive. And he's like, I think I want to go to adventuring school. Like, I think I want to do this. I want to, like, make a go of this. Like, he's starting to, like... And he still doesn't have any mana. He's really strong, but the normal tests are not showing him to be strong. But he's like, I'm going to fucking go for it. And by the time it shifts from this kind of laid-back adventure thing about this doof slowly becoming a powerhouse... he has the ability to, he is the Black Steel King. He has the ability to become a slime man, and he looks like a fucking monster, but he's still just a doof, which is the best part of the series, that he is just like a guy who happens to be really strong and cool, but also not like cool. He does cool shit. He's not cool because he's a fucking dork. And it's fun. We are currently in where I've left off in this book. He is dealing with some a dungeon mishap in training. And there are some creatures that were being looked after that have escaped, and he is wrecking their shit and trying to save the day and help people. But he's doing it secretly because he does not want people to know about his hidden abilities, because he is a fucking weirdo. And, so he's trying to keep it on the down low, but also save people. And, like, he's very nonchalant about some of the stuff that is happening here. And I find that to be interesting. It is a interesting story that I'm enjoying, because he's still a goof despite having these phenomenal powers. And also, like, it is funny to watch this guy like be a dumbass, like break a hammer on a slime, and then also juxtaposed with this secret society tracking this like thing where like there's something happening where some of these monsters that should never be even seen by man, that are in dungeons that no one's been able to conquer, are dying. And how is that possible? And who could possibly be doing that? Well, it's our guy, because those slimes are being teleported to his backyard. It's pretty good. I would call it pretty good and pretty enjoyable. That's Slime Slayer from Zero to Black Steel King. And it's pretty all right. You could do fucking worse than that. So that's pretty neat. That is the manga that I have been reading. And then let's talk about an anime that's fun, that I enjoyed very much. Campfire Cooking in Another World with My Absurd Skill, Season 2, which is available on Crunchyroll. The first season is a comfort anime of mine. The second season was. I had kind of like fallen off of it, and I got back, and I have finished Season 2. So now I can talk to you about Season 2, because it is a good fucking time. If you were unaware, our guy is summoned to another world. And he is, originally they assumed that he was like an accidental summon. And so he gets basically told like, hey, you shouldn't go on this quest that we're going on. You know, like, your skills aren't going to help. What do you mean you can cook? And you can use a store from, like, what? Yeah, man, don't worry about this. We got this. Meanwhile, the food he cooks, if he uses ingredients from Earth, make them super powerful and give a lot of health benefits to people. He has attracted the attention of 4 goddesses because his offerings are super tasty and he can get things from Earth. So he can get cool shit that they've never had before. So he is blessed. He is blessed by 2 goddesses, and then the other goddesses that can't bless him have blessed his familiars. And that's a big part of the show, is that he's Fenrir, because it's always a fucking Fenrir, he's just like, hey, smells great over here. If you make me cool food, I will protect you, and I will be your familiar. You don't have a say in this. And so that happened. And then along the way, he saved a slime that wanted to be his friend named Sue, who is best slime, just like a top tier supporting character. We love Sue. Sue wants to go pew pew and shoot high-powered water at enemies, and then eat good foods and hang out with Master. And Sue is awesome. And yeah, there's a trio of them going and doing stuff, solving problems. In episode 1 of season 2, we meet a new friend. They are making food after killing a bunch of tarantulas that attacked the Fenrir. Big Sue's voice was the best gag of the season. Yes, dirty. Yes, when Sue gets big, that voice that comes out of Sue is top tier good times. Yes, excellent. Very good. So they're just like cooking. Episode 1, they're like, yeah, they're cooking some orc meat and hanging out. And then this pixie dragon shows up. So like a little dragon friend shows up, begs to have some food. And then Fellas is like, that thing can use magic. So like, and be careful. The pixie eats some food and is just like, yeah, all right. And then casts magic, and you're like, oh no, what's it gonna do? The magic it casts is magic to make it to form a contract and become Mokuda's familiar. Now Mokuda has 3 familiars because that pixie dragon is just like, this is this just is so good. I gotta get more of this. I'm gonna hang out with y'all all the time. This rules. I've been looking for something like this. And he's just like, oh no, I got another familiar Lowe's food. That's Dora. Dora, the pixie dragon, rules. I have been waiting for Dora to appear throughout the first season. I was like, well, at some point, the fun dragon. Dora is pretty strong, but also just has like an attitude that I enjoy and is just a fun character. And I was like, hell yeah. Now we got Dora here. That's good times. I'm excited about this. And that was fun. And like, look, is there a big story here? Like, really. It's mostly just good times with cool companions. Like, there's things that happen. Most of the time it's just like goddesses want him to make food. Other gods show up and they're just like, wait, what's going on? You're like giving a bunch of you're getting cool shit for giving blessings. And then like a blacksmith god gives Sue the slime can become a blacksmith and make his own knives now, or make their own knives. And that's weird. That's just a weird thing. And then they're just like, hey, yeah. Oh, and they give Fel and Dora more. Fel becomes even stronger so they can get some offerings. And it just becomes the thing where this dude just has to make a lot of food and go on adventures, and it's fucking fun. Let's see. I'm looking at my notes. They fight a big snake at one point and fight a lot of monsters. They help some people. They get a magic bag. They conquer a floor no one's ever conquered before. Trying to remember. Like, it's just cozy good times. Oh yeah, and then as mentioned, Sue evolves at one point into a huge slime and gets the skill Giganticize, so that Sue can become even bigger, and that's just good. That just looks fun and good. That is just good dumb stuff that I'm like, hell yeah, I love this. I love this for us. All right, so we got to flip this over, and then we got to build more. We're basically just making pieces that are angled here because we have to make a circle out of parts, so we have to do some tricky maneuvering here to get this all to work right. But it's all going to look good because this thing's going to look like the front of the barrel is exploding. And you know what? We love that. Let's see. Our guy has to join a bunch of a dungeon raid. And so he ends up joining a party. And they have a bunch of people ride on Sue, big version of Sue, which is very good, and that's fun. A bunch of food that gets made, and they have a good time. They fight a big monster. And yeah. And then they have a big giant kraken. They defeat a kraken, and then they cut that kraken up and serve it, and everybody eats real well, and it's a big old beach party to celebrate the monster being defeated, and it's a good time, and everyone's fucking stoked about it. Let's see. They want to promote him to S rank because of his abilities. There's a good bit of business because everyone's just like, fuck, there's a red dragon. There's a red dragon. we're fucking so scared. And he's just like, oh yeah, we defeated that shit. And they're like, oh, great, thanks. That's good. Hey, you should probably be S rank by now. And then the last episode gives some offerings to the goddesses. And they want to have a party. They basically want to have a drinking party. Cooking anime and manga are such a good time, says Coribald. I've been reading some of Fate 1 lately, and it's comfy as hell. Oh, the Fate 1. Yes. The Fate anime that is of the cooking one, today's menu at Enia's house, is phenomenal. I'm not necessarily a Fate person. Like, I'm aware of Fate, but I'm not super into the series. But I do love that, because it's just like a bunch of characters from a thing having a laid back time where, like, at one point the most conflict involved is like at one point they have to play beach volleyball, and so that's low tier, like no worries. Like, this show is just about like mythical creatures that want to eat good food, and a guy that likes to cook and gets to cook and is occasionally has to deal with monsters, and he is still not psyched about that part of the life that he lives, where he has to deal with monsters, but is more than happy to hang out with like fluffy, fun people. Like, he's really psyched about getting to spend time with cool people and fun monster friends, and in this case, make offerings to goddesses to keep them happy, and gods, and just kind of like big chillin'. Like, a lot of it is big chillin', and that's fun. You're not huge into the Fate series, Stay Night, not much else. Yeah, the Cozy Cooking spinoff is wonderful. Yeah, it's really good. And then they, when they made the anime, they released it monthly, and there are 13 episodes, but it came out like every month, and it was like a perfect thing to just kind of be like, oh yeah, all right, there's a new episode out. Great, I'm going to watch that. And then it's like, oh, okay, there's not a new episode. Gotta wait another month. Okay. This is very fun. And if you know more stuff about the Fate series, I should actually, I should put that on my short list for Kuma Baer, which is my anime recommendation. I haven't recommended that. Let's see, where would that be under? Would that be under? I think that would be under, like. Well, I got Girls Doing Things as a category. I got the 2000s, Mecha. Chillest of chill. You know what? That is pretty chill. That can go in August. That could be an August recommendation. Do August. Emiya. Yeah, that would be good to do that. That would be good for that month. Speaking of, so that show is fun. I recommend it. If you haven't watched the first season, I don't know if you should go to the second season, but like, I think you should watch it if you're just looking for a fun one where there is some action, but mostly it's just a good time. This weekend, I have to do some preparation for the series that I do, Kuma Baer, my recommendation series, because for the month of February, I'll be working out of a room that is not this room, and this is the room that I record that show, because I have a backdrop that I like using. So I am going to, what I did last year, and that I liked the idea was, basically in my off weeks where I'm not recording Kuma Baers for the next month, I'm going to record the February ones as well. So for the month of February, I don't have to do any recording. So basically, all of the romance month, I'll do ahead of time, and then probably also the first episode of March, which is Girls Doing Things month. I'll recommend a Girls Doing Things show, and I'll record all of that this month in January, I should say. Not this month, January. I'll just record a bunch in advance so that I have I don't know if I'm going to record all of them, but I'm going to record 2 of them this weekend. So at the very least, I know that I have the first 2 of February done, and I don't have to worry about it. Which I think would be good. And we're going to record next weekend. I record the last one of December, and then the first one of, right? I already did the first one of that, so I got to do those 2. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just going to get a few done, so that way I don't have to worry about it later. And I think that'll work out good. Now it's the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? I love hearing from you about those things and things, so please feel free to let me know what you got going on, because I like hearing about it. I did the thing. I didn't know that I was going to do the thing, but I did do the thing. I did download and reinstall Fallout 4. That is I have a lot of free time, because I have a lot of free time at this week. The Crimbo Limbo, the holiday taint, because it taint Christmas and taint New Year's. I have a lot of free time into the end of the year, and also the first couple days in January. So I wanted to just go back to an old video game. And so I went back to an old video game, and that comfort video game for me is Fallout 4. There's some kind of weird glitch with fast travel right now where I have to click a bunch of times on the map, and me looking it up, I have not found a good way to solve that. I don't know what's going on there. But other than that, it's been real fun. I'm having a good time with it. I'm running a couple of some classic fun mods. I'm using plenty of mods, and I'm running a new mod not a new mod, a mod I never used, a companion, created by a modder companion that I've never used before. So that's been fun. I've liked that, to have that be a thing for me to check out. It's been pretty good. And overall, it's just fun. It's just fun to get back into that. I didn't necessarily know if I was going to, but turns out, yeah, I like it. I will probably wait until my subathon in February to show any of it off, but I probably will do that at the old subathon, because I think that would be a good time to showcase the silliness of my mod stuff. So I'll probably do that then, because I'll be far enough in the game at that point where I can show off some weird environments and some of the strange mod things that I've gotten into in that game. Maybe some building stuff, because I'll have built some weird things by then as well. In some of the because some of the mods I have are crafting mods. Did this come off something? Did I just knock this off something? What's this piece for? Where's this piece go? It feels like I knocked this off something somewhere. Was it on here? No. I don't know why this piece suddenly exists, and it makes me think I knocked it off, but I don't know. I have no good way of seeing that. This might have just been here on the table. I don't know. We'll find out later later I'll find out if I knocked that over and that was something that I was supposed to be using to build, but I think we're okay. So yeah, I had a good time getting back into Fallout 4. That's been silly to do that. Watched the AEW pay-per-view on Saturday. Didn't do a stream on Saturday because I wanted to watch wrestling instead. And I stand by that decision because that was fun. Even if I didn't like some of the outcomes, I stand by the decision to stream because it was fun. Or to not stream and instead just do that because it was a good time. So I'm glad I did it. And I got to hang out with some friends and talk. And I watched wrestling last night as well. So Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, their last show of the year, which was a good time. And then next Sunday, I'll watch their first big show of January. I don't particularly watch New Japan much these days, so I won't be watching Wrestle Kingdom. But I will watch, and I won't watch it live. I'll watch it later. Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling's big January 4th show. And I look forward to that. That'll be a good time. Let's see what we got going on here. Dirty says, I ended up buying Power Wash Simulator 2 on Steam. Hell yeah. And completing it again, working my way through Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and I'm working on getting the TV series I got for Christmas onto Plex. Nice. Yeah, sometimes you just want to have your shit where you want to have your shit. Hell yeah. That's cool. Power Wash Simulator 2 rules. I can't wait for the Adventure Time expansion. I look forward to playing that when it comes out. Corabald says, I started watching Yona of the Dawn. I'm really enjoying it. It helps that I'm a total sucker for shoujo tropes, and it's chock full of them. Indeed, it is. But it's pretty great all around. Aside from that, I'm still slogging through Trails through Daybreak 2, which is really testing my loyalty to the Trails series. You are not the first person that I have seen say that this one is the test of your fandom, basically. You are not the only person I have heard that from. So good luck to you. Yeah, Yona the Dawn, I feel like I don't think I finished that. I think I bounced off of it, but I liked what I played or what I watched of it, for sure. I just think it didn't keep my attention, and there's always too much anime. I think there was just too much anime at that point, and so I didn't continue it. Lashbrick says, I'm still Jedi Fallen Order, and I just got the very bright side move of, the very light side move of being able to force pull someone to me and stabbing them with my lightsaber. Kind of ready to finish it. I'm also started playing Valheim again. Okay. Yeah, all right. Sometimes you just want to go and play a game again. You know, you just want to get back into the thing. That's what Fallout 4 for me right now is just like, it's also checking in, like, because some of the mods I used to use don't exist anymore. So it's kind of neat to see what people, like, what new mods are there. Or like, oh yeah, this mod doesn't work right, so I'm using this one. And oh, this thing messed up a bunch of early game stuff, so I'm not going to use that anymore. And I'll use this one instead. It's like, okay, this works out pretty good. Like, okay, yeah, I'm having fun with it. Or, oh, I never downloaded this mod. I'm going to try this one out. Oh, I don't like this. It doesn't do what I wanted it to do. Okay, we'll get rid of that. Or, oh, a mod I used to use got deleted and no one's updated it on their own. And, oh, all right, well, that's a bummer. That kind of stuff. It's fun. It is basically a comfort game at this point, so I don't mind that. Speaking of which, I got more dailies or I have weeklies. I finished my dailies. I have weeklies to do in Hearthstone that I will probably be doing tomorrow during Jeff Gerson's podcast. Probably do that during that. Because I gotta go do a bunch of errands tomorrow before the podcast happens. So we'll get to that when we get to that. If there's anything else going on, I don't know. I'll watch wrestling on Wednesday. That's the plan. Tomorrow, I got a stream tomorrow night. You should come by 9 p.m. Eastern. It is my last stream of 2025 because I am not going to do a New Year's Eve stream. I have done New Year's Eve streams for the past several years. I'm not going to do it this year because it's not a day that I normally stream on. And so I'm just going to take it easy and hang out and watch professional wrestling and then probably go and hang out in a friend's stream as they do the countdown and just kind of do that style of it. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. So yeah, I'll do that on Wednesday. But tomorrow, my last stream of the year is a Pat Bear's Anime Club stream. A live recording. It is my fall review / winter preview. So I will talk about all of the anime that got me going this past season and the stuff that I didn't watch or that I gave up on that I didn't love. I will talk to people about, in chat will tell me like, feel free, like, I'm like, oh, I didn't watch this. And people are like, oh, that one was great. Or no, I stayed away from that. And then then I'll talk about the winter shows, the ones I'm excited about, the ones that got updated since the last time I looked at the list. A variety of cool shit that's coming out in January that I'm excited to talk to y'all about. We'll get to that tomorrow and go through everything. It'll be a longer than normal stream because those always are longer than normal because I have so much to talk about. Usually they're like 2.5 hours. Occasionally they're fucking 3 hours if it's like a busy time or if I had a lot to say. Because sometimes I'm just like, the first half is longer than the second half. Because the first half I got to get through all of it. And sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I don't have anything to say about the show. There's a couple shows where I'm like, I don't remember this getting added and I have nothing to say about it. Like, this just happens sometimes. But I hope you'll join me tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern for that because it'll be fun. All right, so we need this. Lord Crashin says, Lysandus says, hey, Lysandus, I've been playing a ton of Night Rain. Hell yeah. That one, I have some friends that are really into Night Rain, that are super into that and having a great time with it. So I'm glad you're having a good time with it too. And then Lord Crash says, I watched the one for Next Cylinder Watchcast episode I wanted to listen to, and boy, is that a fun, dumb movie with a lot of music I was into during the early 2000s, like Drowning Pool, Disturbed, and Papa Roach. Yes, that soundtrack is unbelievably of its time, especially for the type of movie that it is trying to be. It is such a fucking 2000s ass movie with a soundtrack that really puts you in a time and place. Corabald says, I've been rewatching Smallville and having the same music experience. Yes, Smallville has a lot of that kind of music as well. The soundtrack for the one is very funny. Yes, the sound cues, the like record scratches in that, or drops, needle drops, I should say, not record scratches. That's a different thing. The needle drops in that one are very good. And by very good, I mean occasionally fucking embarrassing. But still fun. Yeah, that movie is a nonsense movie. And I'm glad they covered it. But yeah, I am currently listening to them talk about Escape from New York, a movie that I had certainly seen before. I did not rewatch Escape from New York in order to listen to Nextlander talk about it with like me remembering the movie. But turns out I remember a lot of that fucking movie just fucking fine. And I didn't need a refresher to watch it again. Although it is a great movie. And I could see myself watching it again at some point. I rarely watch go that far of like, oh, I should watch this movie again for the podcast. Occasionally it's a movie I haven't seen. Like I watched Doomsday, that movie. I'm surprised I hadn't watched that movie before because it's very much the kind of movie that I would have watched when it was coming out. And I'm surprised I never saw Doomsday. I don't think that's a good movie. I think there are elements of that movie that would be great in a music video. But I don't think that you know what, I'll say this. I don't particularly think that's a complete movie. I don't think they finished making that movie. Oh, I got to put a bunch of stickers on here. I got to put tire stickers on here. But yeah, I don't think Doomsday is particularly that good. It might be one of the worst movies that they've watched for the Watchcast. Because they often watch some pretty great movies. I didn't center this sticker. I'm gonna see if I can cheat this sticker up and redo it. I'm using a spudger here, but okay. They say put the sticker on and then put the piece in. I'm going to put the piece in and then put the sticker on because I think it being lined up like this will be easier for me to lay the sticker on. That's worse. I did worse. That was worse than I did before. Speaking of Doomsday, my friends and I saw the Doom movie in theaters. What a thing that was. Yeah, Lysandus, man, that movie is certainly a fucking movie. I also rewatched Beavis and Butthead Do America to listen to their episode on that, which is fun. Yeah, I think that movie holds up. I saw it again a few years ago, and I think that movie does just fine. But yes, you're right. I didn't see Doom in the theaters, but that's the fucking movie right there. They were trying stuff. I will give them that. They were trying stuff in that movie. There were a few pretty cool elements to it. The second Doom movie wasn't half bad. I don't think I ever saw that, Lashbrook. Do you smell what the Doom guy is cooking? Indeed. Didn't realize that was Bruce Willis or Demi Moore in B&B. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah, they got some names for Do America. Yeah, they got a few people in there. So normal stream schedule tomorrow. Talking about anime for many hours. Let's see. Thursday, first stream of the year, New Year's Day evening. Catch it. And I will be talking about. I'll talk about an anime from the previous season because I don't think anything new will have started by then. Maybe it has. Let me check any chart. Lord Crashin wants me the dance button. This will be the last time I do the dance button for this month. There'll be a new dance button song next year. So yeah, thank you for hitting the dance button so that I can play the dance button here, which I will right now. The end of the holiday music. Yeah, there's nothing new starting up that I want to watch by Thursday. But yes, I'll have a new dance song on Thursday and start the year right. And also new music. I got done with the Christmas music. I went back to the music that I've been playing before the stream starts. And I will replace that next year with new music. But that is going to take a while. That is a Wednesday project. That is a New Year's Eve day project where I will be pulling a bunch of music to then get ready to play it for everybody. We are almost done with this. I will be completing this Lego set on Thursday and then starting a model kit. I will be starting the Super Gundam, which is a kit that I wanted out of my backlog. I've had it just about the entire year. I don't remember when I got that kit, but it was quite a while ago, and I would like to put a pin in that kit and just be done with it. So, and just build it. So that is going to be on Thursday. I'm going to finish this and then start that. So then we'll, start the year. We'll start 2026 with finishing up a kit from 2025 and then starting a kit that I just want to get done. But yeah, we're almost done with this, but we're running out of time here. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm going to go to the overhead. I'm going to go to this camera here. I'm going to say to you, hey, if I don't see you, have a great rest of 2025. If you can, come back tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. We are going on a raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find someone doing cool shit and go spend some time with them. So we are going to end with a raid. But yeah, if I don't see you tomorrow for my long talk about anime, I hope I will see you on Thursday for the first stream of the year. Mary's traveling for the holidays. Lord Crashington, I was aware of that, but thank you. We are going to raid Rara. My good friend Vectroid has been back to doing some streaming. Rara rules. We love Rara. Rara is doing a bit of a fundraiser stream here. Watching some cool stuff, trying to raise some funds to get out of some debt and to prevent some issues. So we are going to go raid Rara, who rules. I hope you will come along on this raid. because it would be nice to have you. Because Vectoroid rules and will be a great stream and a weird one. So come along on this. Reminder, tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, Anime Talk, talking about the season that was and the season that's to come. It technically already started, but one show started early. Whatever. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope you have a great rest of your night. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.